grudge match coming in. This is, I think, going to be the game of the day.
I think so too. I mean, like last match, it looked good off the first map, but then Furia just took control of things. But yeah, this one, every time Cloud9 play a new team, we have to find out how good they'll be. And Mousesports, they've been in the training, they've undergone training throughout the showdown. They took down Heroic by beating them on Nuke, right? They deserve respect right now. And I think just like yesterday's match with Cloud9 versus Complexity, this one will deliver as well. I think Kerrigan definitely won the veto, but I don't think that means that they'll win the series. Cloud9, they got stomped by Virtus.pro on Inferno, the first match that they ever played. But at this point, I'm going to call that so long ago that that probably sparked a lot of change on their Inferno, and we'll see if that changes. Here on Vertigo, this was all about Floppy, and I think Kerrigan knows that coming into the match. But there's so much to talk about and so little time. We've got Kerrigan up top in B on this pistol round, trying to find these Cloud9 members.
There's 4 of them right there ready for him. So Woxic opens up this best of 3 with a frag towards the B site. Rops is going to go down empty-handed, and that's the B site completely clear for the taking. Floppy's going to play close proximity, 4 teammates beyond him to lock in this round.
I think they're literally saving. Like, this is not even a situation where they can do anything. Wow, it's not often you see a 3-player save on the CT side pistol, but you know, it's a situation where they can invest more next round. Really clean round. I mean, the executions again for Cloud9 have been pristine for how little time they played together. I want to make sure that that's understood. I think that's something that will really come through on Vertigo, which has so many layers to the default just on like A ramp. But here's a situation where they come through with a fast B split. The shots are being connected. Cloud9 are probably fired up off of their last performance, but this match would mean the world. Just getting this win means that they get through to the final. But of course, the same can be said for Mouse. Now, you tweeted out that Woxic wants this more than anybody else in the server.
Yeah.
And we're going to find out what that means for his performance.
I'm down with that. We saw how much it meant to him to beat Complexity yesterday. Such a pop-off on the player cams. This is a team who was kind of laughed at in their first showing last week. Already indicating great improvements. But if they improved enough to take down Mousesports, that win over top of Heroic was no joke.
Not at all.
And Kerrigan had a lot to do with it, not just with the calling, but some of the most impactful kills on that 3rd map of Train.
Kind of nuts how they all fired off individually. Kerrigan showed up.
Yeah.
Frozen was that star. Rops was Rops.
Yeah, Rops is always Rops. And Frozen, I think, I'm glad you just mentioned him, because that was a hell of a performance.
Now, Cloud9 had been ecoed many, many times. Just in the last series alone, I feel like they got ecoed about 5 or maybe 6 times in total. So they're probably a little bit scared coming into this round. And Mousesports have done a good job of holding on to utility for situations like this, just to keep changing the pathing of their opponents. But no serious rotations have been called in. Just Chris J going to take to the skies a little bit on top of this back box, only to potentially get mollied out in this position.
He's not going to actually get pushed off the angle, but he will miss the shot. Another volley of smokes comes out. Flashbang is perfect in terms of blinding Chris J. He takes back up to the top rope. Esatag able to best him. Mezzi hands busy with the bomb as Kerrigan comes in with a kill, and he needs that reload, so Floppy's going to punish him in that moment. And we've got 3 players still up for Mouse, but if they were willing to save last round in the pistol, then why wouldn't they just walk away right here, right now?
You called it. They start to fall back. Cloud9 will pick up the 2nd round. And now, to call upon again the very little data that we have, we look at Cloud9 versus NIP. This is a match that Floppy absolutely and in totality took over on their T side. It was a comeback. It was a match that I would say NIP played better in almost every single round, but when it got to these low numbers mid-round situations, Floppy made a heroic play every single time, consistently throughout the second half. It was kind of unbelievable, to be honest, because out before that match had happened in their first 2 series, And that was their first win ever, really. Floppy was bottom fragging basically on all 4 maps that they played. He looked very uncomfortable, not like himself at all. I personally had the fear that he wasn't going to get the space that he deserved, considering how good he was on the old Cloud9, but that didn't seem like that was the case at all, and he's shaking off some of the nerves and was dominating. On the T side, he's basically holding mid every single round.
Ooh. Oh, damn. Poor Chris J. He had that shot lined up. Looked like he was almost going to hit the collateral. Here comes the AK peek from Esatag. It's Kerrigan's USP with the frag. And, well, at least a little bit of damage. But Alex able to stabilize the situation for Cloud9. Floppy just hanging out on his own. Oh. Eats Rops Deagle. BMAS going to peek out wide with his as well. There's Woxic with a crucial kill, because suddenly they can all focus forward as opposed to getting hit from both sides. Rops has robbed the Galil away. And if he can hang on to this, then it's going to be Mousesports finally coming in with a buy. Will he apply more pressure and try to chip away at their cash, though? That's my question.
That's a great question.
Thank you.
Let's see if we find some answers. For me, I feel like based on that heroic performance, if it was the same Mousesports, I might have been more inclined to think about picking them in this matchup. But, oh, wow, it looks like he might get a tap of the bomb here at the very least. Oh, he's going to punish them a little bit. Alex he's going to die, right? Yeah. Goodbye, sir. You're off the building. That's worthwhile there for Rops. I suppose they're going to be buying up now. They've done a good job keeping some economic stability throughout these rounds in Mousesports. Always wear a mask, folks. Only a few more months to go, hopefully. But with Mousesports, there's always the question marks of can they keep it up. They've got too many players that are a little bit too inconsistent, too much history with the stats, a little bit too much baggage. But again, versus Heroic look like a super strong team, so we'll see what they can do here on round number 4. Nobody testing Floppy at mid. See, DJ really likes Floppy here. Focus down on Floppy.
Alex going to get boosted up behind the wood on the B site. There's a player right on the other side. Rops sees his head and takes him down. Not going to fall for that one. Mezzi, however, gets the player deeper in the bomb site, and now he's going to pressure. That frag grenade, awkward little bounce.
Oh, I like that.
Negligible damage in the end, but Rops is still right in position, hanging on to the double orange. He could very well screw over these 3 players because he's wrapped beyond them. They don't know where he's gone off to. Rops losing teammates as Floppy comes up from the staircase to take him down. Very cool attempt.
Cool with the K.
But now it's Frozen in the clutch. Very much outnumbered. Sees the peak of the first one. Woxic's going to be taken to 29 health. And Frozen, no utility, no kit currently on him. This is looking like Cloud9. 4 rounds to 0 off the start.
And it's much easier rounds than the ones they had versus Nip. Looking much better here so far on the T side. Rops' awareness is always a pleasure to watch. You think most players would make the mistake of taking an overstep there with the off-kilter smoke, maybe stepping into the line of fire of Mezzi. Mezzi set that up with a nade to the right to try to encourage Rops to move, but almost every other player except for Rops would have gone in that direction. And then he finds the opening, walks over the site, tries to get 2 kills, but there's a late flank, and that's just where the good execution comes in. Here's Rops making what looks like a really, really cool flank, and just a couple moments off being able to be offered up 2 kills. But all of his teammates dying around him, rotating in, and that is pretty much the most important part. No round so far here for Mousesports. Frozen will retain his M4 for what it's worth. Fiery push down A ramp here from the CTs as they get close. Kerrigan will eat some damage.
Esatag's found the opener.
Again, not working with a lot, and that UMP was one of the better guns they had.
Oh, BMS, keep your head down. Take cover. Oh, and Floppy's going to take it off regardless. Mezzi's patience could certainly pay off as Rops creeps right into it, sees the barrel of the Deagle, and takes him down. Cloud9, are they even going to lose a player in this one? You'd think Frozen would just love to save that M4, move it forward into the next. A minute on the clock, B site under question. Bomb in tow. Woxic, though. He could very well sniff out another CT.
Also, I want to mirror Pimp's point and really bring that home. I think it is a much bigger advantage that Mousesports are playing, or for Woxic, who is playing against his old team, than the other way around. The info they have on Woxic might not be as valuable. He knows everything about what Kerrigan would call in certain situations. He knows more about their personalities, what they'll all do in 1v1s. He's seen it all firsthand, and that's information he can share. Certainly, if Cloud9 get rolling, then he would probably share that information.
Double op setup coming out of Mouse. It's going to cost them utility on 2 belts. Let's see where they go off the bat. Rops with 1, of course. Kerrigan the other. Rops actually watching for a run boost, but Cloud9 not going to dive deep into those antics just yet. Excellent utility. And Kerrigan, nobody's watching him. Nobody is keeping an eye on this position. Easy first pickup from Kerrigan. He's going to lay down the smoke to try and escape. Molotov does land next to him. Damage being pumped through, but Woxic can't quite find the kill. And Kerrigan, well, he is going to be able to get off of that very dangerous initial position. Alex, all the while, hanging on.
Wow, that was a big risk by Kerrigan. Knows that he can't actually extinguish the Molotov, and they'll find out that he has, in fact, escaped. Pulls a Houdini, gets out of there. 45 situation, Kerrigan's low, but Esatag also very, very low on a rifle. No ops to fall back on. Chris J trying to reclaim some ground here on the short shelf. Alex will actually open up on Kerrigan, taking that threat out, but Kerrigan gets some more damage off, and Frozen will finish off Floppy.
Chris J's up on short this entire time, so Cloud9 finally running into a bit of trouble, and it comes in the form of an A hold. Kerrigan from behind the sandbags really opening up. Cloud9 were very quick to run up ramp, and they ate so much utility damage, nobody really kind of kept that in the front of their mind, and it cost them. Let's see what Woxic can do in terms of damage with 20 seconds and the bomb on his back. He has a heads-up 1v1. If he can just kill Rops, then there's a chance Woxic's on for the clutch. But Rops is just going to go ahead and hide behind the cover. BMAS coming over, and Rops playing with a minimal peek to get Mousesports on the board.
Maybe we took another look at the nades that landed, because that was actually insane. Now, this is a little bit past that when the damage had already been dealt, but that was definitely the culprit here for the loss of Cloud9. They are scared at that point. It slows them down tremendously. They forego making any more progress, and they get tagged down and finished off. Nice plays by Kerrigan as well. Now into round number 7. Cloud9, again, no op in their hands. Just going to focus on spreading the map. Not looking to participate in that kind of Woxic. Oh, sorry, they do have an op. Excuse me. Okay, I was wondering. So Woxic will pick it up. He's holding on at this angle. He will participate in this ramp default with the op versus rifle, or op versus op situation.
We saw Chris J playing the sniper on the short shelf. Not yet going for these peaks down ramp, but expect it. Uh-oh. Drop shot by Woxic. That could have been easily a 5 versus 4 given over to Cloud9. An additional peak, though. Kerrigan playing with fire.
Wow. Really risked it. Oh, no.
Floppy versus BMAS. That's a big mid-fight. I think keeping an eye on Floppy throughout most of these rounds is going to be a key piece, perhaps, to the T's success. But Alex, nice double kill coming off of the ramp. That first barrel stuff into Kerrigan is everything. Chris J taking to the top of the box, falls off as we see tons of utility start to soar forward. They've got both sides of the A site to ensure their plan. Floppy has fallen away from middle, joined them at the base of ramp. Mezzi's going to take damage through the wall bang, though, and Chris J almost given a shot versus Alex. What is with these in-game leaders and challenging oppers? Alex picks up another kill. He has done everything for Cloud9 in this 7th round, and now the T's will be unleashed. They are all on the hunt.
This is a round riddled with mistakes for both sides. It just ends up being Alex to capitalize on every single one. You know, a missed shot on them in the last second. Don't know if he didn't realize Chris J was opping, but kind of weird to go ahead and try to punish him. Maybe he felt like it's worth taking the fight since they had pretty much already won, but Jesus. Kerrigan peeking twice and getting out of dodge. And then Frozen dropping a spray like that. Like, those are the kinds of kills that Frozen needs to be good for every single time. So that was an uncharacteristic miss by Frozen from the top. And then Chris J missing a lot of opportunities. Kerrigan getting slammed into the side of this crane, and Alex, yeah, capitalizing on the 2 kill. That's the one where I'm like, Frozen, that's what you're hired to do. Win 50-50s like that. Unlikely miss by him, and that's Cloud9 into the round. It cannot be that easy. If Cloud9 give you these mistakes, these are the ones that need to be punished, because again, coming into this match is really about the question marks that remain on Mousesports in terms of consistency among the individuals. But for Cloud9, they've shown us nothing but promise in terms of those individuals.
Yep. Nothing but improvements and promise.
Right. Consistent improvements.
I am already starting to put a red flag on one of these plays, though. BMAS, who's kind of just under the radar for the moment.
Plays the same spot.
Yeah, playing the same spot, but for the moment, at least keeping Floppy away from these mid-round lurks. You know, doing the damage. He's playing behind that sandbags in mid, kind of floating around construction. He hasn't been straight up tested. We'll see if multiple members start throwing themselves his way. He is one of 3 players on Mousesports to still sit on 1 kill alongside Chris and Frozen.
That's a good point, though. Shutting down the mid splits is one thing.
Even if you can just convince Floppy to give it up. Doesn't need to be the frag every time. Just do not let Floppy compromise your mid, or suddenly it's an assault from all fronts. Rops, we've seen him in this position deny control of the wooden wall. Peeks right into Woxic, and Alex can trade that one immediately. Floppy's on this mid lurk still. And Cloud9 not looking like they're going to commit just off the back of 1 frag.
Yeah, they call for reinforcements. BMS gets into the site to cut off the lines to the back of the site to make sure they don't lurk in. Cloud9, they readjust. They're moving over towards the A site while Chris J and BMS kind of sit side by side and quietly reclaim information. Good on Chris J to look forward into mid to call out if Floppy is still there. But this is largely going to come down to Kerrigan and Frozen for the moment. Now, because A-Ramp's takes are so slow, it won't be a surprise if they actually come back out. And look at Alex. He actually comes back to mid late. And if the execute comes in, who's to say Chris J doesn't turn around?
Last smoke from Cloud9 now thrown. Alex thinking about this lurk, gonna get caught by Chris. Easy pickup with the op. That's a man advantage. 20 seconds on the clock. And they're walking back to a last second B-hit execution. This is all on BMAS. We just talked about his ability to lock down mid. He just needs to stay inside of quad, but he goes peeking outwards. They need to frag him, take him off of the double box. He fights them tooth and nail, supported by Chris J. BMAS gets a second for Mousesports.
Oh, monster stuff by BMAS. That site would have been opened up to a plant for sure, and he got stuck in between that default box, had to absolutely win those fights. A masterclass by him. Great awareness from Chris J. Again, he comes to get info at mid, clears it out completely, which is huge, and then falls back, and Alex just comes out late after Floppy had left a long time ago. So really amazing awareness from Chris J. in those final few moments. And again, good from BMAS to not rotate in that spot. No bomb spotted, and it looked like a full fake, but this will be around Mousesports Wind, and now they know that Cloud9 are capable of these kinds of fakes as well.
Frozen immediately falls back. He's like, where is this Molotov? Throws one of his own. This is going to keep Alex back for the time being.
I'll have to work on that lineup again.
Ooh, look at this. Sandbags player falls back. Not sticking around to take a chance.
Trying to keep their attention. They're going to have to spend some utility just to clear it out, even though it's wide open. So it's a kind of a delay of game here by Kerrigan. Rops moves into pole position down the B stairs. Perfect time to push, really. Nobody is here to stop him. And this is when Rops becomes very powerful.
He should be cautious, though. We have seen him get caught a couple of times. This is the furthest he's ever made it. Ooh, and just gives himself away. So suddenly, Cloud9, they realize that they have been caught. They've been corralled, and yet they've not yet been killed. We'll see if they can fight their way out of this. Chris J, he's going to drop a shot on short. 20 seconds for Cloud9 to get themselves on this A site. Mezzi taken down by Frozen. It is nothing but Mousesports on the kill feed. Total shutdown until Woxic has some sort of an answer, but it's minimal at best.
Not the cleanest affair here as they try to get onto the A site. They get shut down all coming up the ramp. We're so focused in there on Chris J because his kill is pivotal, right? If he dies on short shelf, they can wrap that way. And that's sometimes where the execute can end. But they seem to be possessed in the sense that they want to try to get over here. But they run right into Frozen, excuse me, and he just multi-frags. Very nicely done by Frozen, kind of out in the open, working back-to-back with Chris J, watching the short shelf. They lock it down despite the full execute coming in. And now Cloud9 will actually have to save. They'll keep the op, grandfather that forward on Woxic, and he could try his best to open things up, but again, Mousesports would have to make a grave mistake in the default here, knowing that they've broken the economy of Cloud9.
Yeah, that red-hot start from Cloud9 starts to cool off. Kerrigan's going to get up close and personal versus the base of the ramp. That's scope audio called. Flash comes down. Kerrigan needs to dodge it. Alex is going to walk right into the crosshair. No trigger discipline on the play. Not needed. 2 headshots from Kerrigan. Frag grenade's going to bounce, do a little bit of chip damage. Kerrigan's good for a 3K. And, well, he is still looking to deliver, but suddenly a little bit of success from Cloud9. Again, from Esatag. He's got himself 2 with the deagle, but as he goes to run away, realizes, uh-oh.
I think he got a nade.
I don't have bomb.
Yeah, I think he got a smoke. He picked up a couple of things.
Yeah, player close and BMAS holds it.
Oh, is he peeking? Oh, wow. Okay, he had the read correct. I think he knew where both players were. That was definitely a tenuous moment, but Esatag cannot squeeze water from stone and will have to concede the round. The damage is good. It's going to mean something, but we're getting a little bit of fight here from Mousesports. Although this wasn't a round they had a ton to work with. Here's where the real challenge is. This one could result in the complete comeback after a 6-1 startup for Cloud9.
Chris J eats the flash. Has a teammate right here to help him on the B site. That being Rops, of course, but Esatag on the kill feed yet again. Nice extension from Kerrigan. Goes right in for the trade, realizing the risk he takes because anybody else from Cloud9 could have come charging through this smoke, but Kerrigan goes in for second, servings a third, a fourth from Kerrigan. Totally shut down on the A ramp, and Mousesports clawing back this lead.
Okay, straw hats on for Kerrigan. He's farming. That was sick. And I was just going to credit him for the first kill. Okay, getting to where he needs to be. This is why we love Kerrigan. As soon as the teammates dies, he fills the gap and he takes a risk. Puts himself positionally in a very scary position just to get the job done. And now, today, and versus Heroic, he's also getting the kills. He's showing up mechanically. He's laying the smack down.
Form is coming back to him. That suddenly gives a whole new layer to Mousesports because no one's ever questioned his intelligence. It's just that mechanical form.
This man got a master's while he was on Astralis.
Oh my god. The rest of us are losers. How can we keep up?
Well, Rob's heard that, so... yeah. You really don't get 2 attempts on these boosts. Just hold their attention a bit. It's always a pleasure to watch Rob's clear angles, man. No one is more careful than this guy. no one is less careful than Kerrigan. Again, it's just the scrappiness. It's the yin-yang. It's the balance that they have.
Fully blind, though.
That's a good flash, actually. Yeah,
even then he gets
that's
2
kills. Okay. That keeps him in business. They hand Nog over. There'll be some fallback grenades. And they know you can't just turn the ramp, right? There's still going to be players here they got to worry about. And again, some of the regular utility that'll land forward. Lots of impact grenades. Such a great peek from Esatag. He narrowly dodges, oh my god, the op shot from Chris J and punishes the repeat.
But a molly on the bomb site and Frozen going for a follow-up peek. All this is a chance for Woxic to run rampantly over to the B site. And do they realize just how deep Alex already is? You can see Robs with a bit of a hesitation, swinging into it, but what a deeg shot from Alex, and he's looking for another one, but BMAS bests him. Woxic in the post plant. All he has is the deagle, and off with the flash, Woxic blasts Frozen. Can he close it? A bit more damage, but Mousesports sustain a 6th.
What was that? I feel like I just saw a ghost. That was insane. That shot was crazy. Out the sky. Thought he was pulling out that 1v2 versus his old team.
Mousesports are on fire. The momentum is shift back the other way. Oh.
That was nasty.
That's some good stuff.
Nearly had it.
Doesn't matter who you're cheering for. We get hyped for shots like that.
This is a 2-op adjustment. I like this. I like the 2-op adjustment when you're losing a streak of rounds, when you're winning a streak of rounds. It just keeps it fresh.
All right, big A fight. Massive clash set up, and Kerrigan gets bested. Nobody here from Mousesports to really trade him out, unless Chris J opts to take a massive risk. Molotov at his feet kind of draws him closer to his teammates, but there are numbers here for Mousesports. Cloud9 gonna be using that utility on both sides. CT's peak, they want a piece of this, and it works out good enough to get back a 3v3. Then the CTs throw the fire. And maybe that's enough to ignite Chris J. Looks to peek into this. We've got Alex back on Henny. Floppy coming up. 5 of the 6 players alive are on this side of the map. And Chris J, oh my goodness, almost given a kill on that one. Alex flies across his screen.
Well, Chris falls back. He's been struggling from these angles back here in CT spawn. Some of the easier peaks off the ramp. He doesn't look exactly comfortable. But, of course, it doesn't mean that he shouldn't play there. These are important spots to be able to hold, so he'll not actually move out back into a better position, out on the short self once again. They don't know that he's left here, so still not going to be an easy spot. Oh, goodness gracious.
That molly. If that molly spreads, you'd think he's
coming
dead.
Out from behind him, too. The molly might be gassing. Oh,
he misses.
Footsteps. And Alex, he'll go 1 for 1. The trades are coming back. It's better for the CTs.
Esatag.
Down to Esatag. He knows somebody dropped on the other side of default. Let's see if he can grab these kills. He'll find the first. Oh my god, he's looking for the second.
6 seconds! Clock's out! Shots out! Rob's close! Closes! And Mousesports with a 1-round lead.
Holy hell. With just a couple of bullets to spare, the one taps in. That would have been an absolutely miraculous clutch. But of course, you can't get one over Rob's. That is ridiculous. These situations are insane.
Every single moment coming down to the wire, man. USP tab, both players swapping to the sidearm. Mousesports starting to get pumped. 2 rounds left in this first half. It's been a long time since Cloud9 were on fire. 6 rounds in a row for the CT side, and Kerrigan always finding a bit of impact with these ramp peaks.
Dude, it's no joke, right? Like, he's like winning the opening duel by himself on the ramp consistently. I mean, he has died once or twice, but for the most part, it's absolutely worthwhile for him to keep trying it. If he can keep on doing this, the confidence on this man right now. And BMAS in his favorite position. It's the problem that he plays the same spots a lot, but look how good he is at playing them. He gets that first kill on the Opper. Meanwhile, Frozen answered back on the other side of the map. Floppy wins his duel versus Kerrigan. And what does this mean? Messi's been sitting over here at B the entire time.
Bombs dropped elsewhere, so Not even like Mezzi can just go running into this. Floppy's going to have to retrieve it. Mezzi doesn't see much. Making sure nobody's up close. We have seen Rops with an affinity for this position. 35 seconds left. Chris J close on the smoke. Mezzi's going to creep right into it. Who sees what first? Oh, Mezzi takes a headshot but gets the kill. And now he's going to extend right into the scope of Rops. Floppy, low health, 2 kills already. Looking for the 3rd and 4th, but he gets shut down. And Mousesports with a comfortable 2-round lead will keep their spree going.
Yeah, it looks like Cloud9 still definitely have problems on this map with the way that they're losing rounds on A. Again, they had a miraculous T-side versus NIP, but a lot of it came down to just this godlike individual effort from Floppy. You can't expect that every single time. You still have to be able to pick the map for different reasons, and their flaws are showing a little bit. Something somewhat uncomfortable. Their initial, pistol execution on that mid to B made it feel like everything was in working order, but there's of course more to the game plan than just that one round. And so far, the defaults have been looking strong for Mousesports. Kerrigan taking so much space for himself easily on the A ramp. Rops over here at B. There's a lot of individuals showing up. There's the first kill. Oh, no trade in sight.
Tag's Molotov's going to make this awkward. Extinguishes it and sticks around, man. Don't you fall to your death. Rops hits the head of Tag. Frozen, though. That's going to be the casualty that could open things up for Cloud9. They are working with little. Alex, Galil, Deagle on Woxic. Flashbang for the peek from Kerrigan. Now that bomb's been thrown over, but a Deagle and a second. And, oh, there's a chance for this 3rd. But he cools off, backs up, and falls at the hands of Mousesports. A 3-round lead. And look at that spree. 8 in a row on the defense.
Yes! No, you close it, dude. Okay, E and forward, yeah. We are in BF's Mirage, D. No, press A now. A, left. Yeah, just full speed left. Yeah, yes, jump. And left, yes, keep going like that, yes. Okay, turn around, look around. 80 degrees, yes. More to
Dude, that was fast.
nice one.
Let's do it. We should make a team, dude.
Cloud9 trailing 6-9, swapping to the CT side of the first map in our BO3 here. Launders, it looked like the Colossus was going to just run rampant at the start of this one, but oh boy, did Mousesports turn that on its head.
That's the Colossus right there.
That man on your screen.
Kerrigan.
The Kerrigan.
Carry, yeah. You can't spell Kerrigan without carry, that's for sure. He actually took over with those A-ramp pushes, again, by himself. I mean, Chris J was missing, you know, a lot of shots, but it didn't matter. He was like coming there with the AUG, getting more than one kill over and over again, shutting it down. Frozen was missing shots, but between Rops, BMAS, and Kerrigan, oh my God, getting deja vu. This is another IGL up here to defend against the B-split, but there's nobody else to fall back from, and the B-split is coming in.
He falls back through the Molotov, and they're going to go ahead and try and sink their teeth to B. There's nothing there. Nobody. Nada. Zilch.
Oh,
Tag's got the nade line up. Decent. It's like Cloud9 never left spawn.
5v5 retakes are very, I want to say, easy over on B. I'll go as far as to say that, but there's a lurk in place here for Mousesports, and it is a pistol, so it's a bit different.
Kerrigan. They came to look for him, and then they turned back their attention. The problem is he's going to shave off so much time. Somebody, at least one of the players, has to come deal with him, or at least keep eyes in this direction. But now they start pushing in. It's the fire of Alex. Kerrigan finally hitting that flank. And has he served enough of a distraction? Absolutely. Floppy inside of the site. Everybody dies. Headshots galore. And Mousesports, with at least one more, will find those double digits.
Yeah, that was a BMAS clutch. Plus he got 3 kills, if not 4 in that situation. A pretty incredible hold. They shut down Kerrigan, but just like you said, just holding everyone's attention is just enough to really make this ugly. He'll grab 3 plus the 1v1. Well done by BMAS here. And yeah, so it's always a risk to go for the retakes, but the B retakes, it makes a lot of sense. You know, even like Alex is so comfortable with that idea. He ran backwards through the Molotov because that was the plan of action, really hoping that it was A. So kind of a good strategy called by Kerrigan here, probably out of preparation. Making an assumption about the setup. I don't recall if it was similar to the NIP game. That's the only one on record, of course. Here on Vertigo.
Gonna look to overwhelm this solo B-hold. Mezzi delivers a Deagle headshot. A little something for Cloud9. I mean, this could transition into an excellent save. You're not gonna retake this bomb site, odds are. Just walk away, boys.
Oh my God, yes, that absolutely lined up perfectly. We just go for the random spam is the question.
Yeah, Frozen's gonna find a bunch of them in the spawn, though. 2 taps with the MAC-10. Delayed spray for a little bit more damage. Somebody can get that scout and still leave, but they need to kill Frozen now. And, well, he's just going to tear him up. Oh, my God, the money he is making. All of them in the end. Frozen 4 kills with the MAC-10. That is cash in his back pocket.
1 of 2 SMGs, 4 for the MAC-10. You absolutely love to see this for Mousesports. They're stripped of all of their firepower here on Cloud9. And they are down to just the USPs. Mousesports, surely they're going to be able to close this out. I don't think we saw anything extraordinary out of Cloud9's CT side last time. It was just their huge T side comeback. They only got 5 rounds on CT side. Again, Mousesports' veto was very strong. I mean, you can always count on Kerrigan to come up with a very intelligent veto. Kind of thought the same with Complexity, and they did win in the veto, but they still lost the series pretty handedly. We look back, like Mirage wasn't even close. Like there was definitely some expectations being exceeded for Cloud9's performance. So of course we're going to hold our breath and see and let them tell the story. But so far so good here for Mousesports, and they'll pick the open site once again. Rops will punish one of the closest rotators, and Frozen, he'll try to farm on the MAC-10, and it looks like maybe he'll get another 4. He'll at least get 3 here. Again, tons of money being made.
My God. 7 SMG kills with that one MAC-10. Essentially, he can retire.
Something like that. Might have to go somewhere cheap, but it'll last a couple months.
Until 2021.
Yeah.
Good money being made, of course. 12-6 now. Mousesports doubling up the score of Cloud9. It has been a very long time since we saw that Cloud9 logo on fire.
Oop.
Round is not live.
Okay.
Abort.
Maybe reset. Just looking at, take a snapshot of the buy. Got Woxic back on the op. You know, the game's not at a question, as now that we're into the rifle round, it's really just about Cloud9 to show us what they can do. Does Kerrigan have any creative counters to what he expects from their CT side, what he thinks their weaknesses are? You know, if there's anybody who's going to do the research.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I say that, but then of course Blame F is definitely one person who would do the research, and he couldn't figure it out. But now, you know, one series removed from that, there's even more data on some tendencies. So we'll see. So far, Mousesports have impressed. I'm not sure what they'll want to do. For a quick recap on Vertigo history, everything ends up on the A ramp, except when they go B. People do not like going B because it's very hard to hold in the post plant. And a lot of teams' strategies started to lean towards the B hit a few months into the map, 6 or so months into the map. But then they stopped doing it because the B retakes just got better and better. There's not a lot of spots to stand in the post plant. You can very easily be smoked out from the ramp, and then people started going back to A. But now, Vertigo becomes a bit more interesting because mid is coming more into play after these most recent changes. T teams are starting to see the value in it. Initially, when Furia were really good in like the first few days of the map, they were using mid, but then they stopped. People stopped using that because A ramp hits were so powerful. Excuse me. But the meta has come back into it a little bit more, and we saw Floppy's lurks, Alex's lurks, Kerrigan's lurks through mid all have huge impact already in this map alone. So that's keeping things fresh. And also B splits. Those weren't really a thing for a long time.
Yep.
So it's cool to see the map getting developed a little bit more.
I feel like that's now like the
outside of just A hits.
The most popular pistol's got to be the B split, man.
Yeah, it feels like it.
And you can see why as well.
Which it poses an interesting problem for the CTs, because if the site's hard to hold versus mid and you can't play there, if you do have a situation where the B split's clean enough, it can be very, very hard to retake with enough delay grenades, or like we saw for Mousesports, that extra layer with Kerrigan coming out late mid, then things become very difficult for the CTs. Feels like a bit of an ace in the hole based on what we've seen in this match. 2 very clean rounds in the first round of each half. This is Mither. He's joined the team as a coach, coming over after a long stint on North. We've got Messioso going on HLTV confirmed to talk about North, and he said no PR answers.
No PR answers.
He said no PR answers. He's going to let it all hang out. Like,
all right.
Can't wait to watch that episode.
I wonder if he's written out the cliff notes on a sticky yet. Whether
would that be your preferred form of note keeping?
Yeah.
Use sticky notes?
Yeah.
I used to use sticky notes for StarCraft, just to put them on the side of my monitor.
Okay.
Micro, macro.
Yeah.
This and that.
I used to have one on the bottom of my monitor for the incremental round loss bonus when I was trying to be a Counter-Strike IGL. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Used to stick it down there. Used to have all the weapon rewards when I started casting.
Oh my god, all the calculator memes when the economy changed.
Yeah.
It was so confusing at first. We're not the smartest bunch. Counter-Strike players. Like the RTS guys, the MOBA guys.
Yeah.
They might be a little smarter than us.
I think
they're
all better with
the
numbers.
Sharpest bulbs in the shed.
You know, luckily numbers isn't the biggest part of Counter-Strike. It's important.
Keep telling yourself that, Counter-Strike player. I don't have to know math.
We gotta aim.
Speaking of vertigo, these palm trees on Rob's wall, that gives me vertigo.
Yeah. If you want to talk about backdrops, I would like to switch to Chris J for a moment and ask you a question.
He's in his parents'
How many of those books do you think he's read?
Like how many titles? Probably knows a few of them.
Oh, he's back.
Is he wearing? Are these just like elongated wireless headphones or wired headphones? Like, how long are these wires? Did he just run to the kitchen with these headphones on? How did he's gonna plug it in? He just ran there with the cord. That's awesome. That's actually easier than taking off your airplane headphones, undoing your earbuds. Just run to the kitchen. That's a hazard. He could have tripped on that.
Got to be careful. You know, when we used to live in the world of phones with cords, I remember we had a kitchen phone in the back. In the good old days, bad boy was like 15 feet long. I'd be trying to get a snack after school. I'd come out of my bedroom. I'd be walking to the kitchen. Mom would be cooking up a storm. And you have to basically play limbo in the kitchen trying to get underneath it. You gotta watch your head on that thing. Get tangled up in it. It's not a good day.
I had a friend who brought one of the first kind of like cordless phones. He brought it to school from across he lived across the street.
Oh my God.
He brought this.
Look what I got.
Yeah, this enormous piece of plastic across the street to school. The phone didn't work. It's got to be like 8 feet from the receiver.
Guys, look what I've got.
Look what I've got. I've got a cordless phone.
Wow.
Doesn't do anything, but I brought it. I wonder if Woxic is I wonder how much he's interjecting with information. I feel like I'd be teaming with the information. Alex, let me tell you something. Kerrigan's going to do this. Kerrigan loves to do this. But maybe that was done before the match. I don't know how much he's kind of contributed during the match.
You think Henry G set Woxic down and interrogated all the information
100%.
out of him?
He put the chair down backwards and he sat down, probably wearing ripped jeans,
rolled up bottoms,
tattooed arms, sitting over the chair. Woxic, tell me everything you know. Did the Sicario, walked up to him sitting on the chair. I believe it.
I can see it.
He looks unfazed though. Looks comfy. Should we get a kill update? Let's see what the stats are like so far on Vertigo.
You go digging into stats. I want to tell people about something.
Okay. Go for it.
So, turns out there's a mouse in the studio. And yesterday, in between maps, our good friend DJ, aka Prius, he was coming to hang out with us a lot. Every map, he'd come over. Hey guys, sit down on the chair next to us. We'd spend some quality time. I look at Launders after he leaves. I'm like, damn, man, I'm actually happy DJ's coming to visit us more often. Normally, he sits over in production on the other side of the building because obviously he has a job to do. But that was a nice treat. I was so excited. And then it turns out that DJ really doesn't like mice. Turns out a couple of the guys in the production have been trolling DJ, poking his ankles underneath the table and whatnot. Poor DJ, man, he was scarred.
His ankle with a ruler.
We got back to the hotel last night. He's in my room, and he's still got his feet up on the couch watching the ground, man.
Traumatized.
You guys got to stop picking on DJ. He can't handle it.
Including us.
Yeah. As we pick on DJ.
Oh, man.
You got any tidbits for us? What do the numbers say?
There is absolutely nothing interesting. Chris J's 4-13. But there's no, I mean, Frozen Rops are top fragging. I feel like Kerrigan should be top fragging. How's Frozen pulled almost 100? Oh, Frozen pulled 180 ADR because he got 7 Mac 10 kills in the second half. He got 700 damage off in the second half.
Yeah,
not all ADR is made equal. That's what we need to remember. On the other side of things, like, it's just middling performances from everyone on Cloud9, like doing okay. Alex kind of up there. He had a 22-6 half versus Complexity on Dust 2. That's the video I made today.
Isn't that stunning?
Yeah, yesterday.
Yeah.
I was like, because I usually just do one half so it's shorter, and I was like, Alex had a really great map. And I went to look at the CT side to talk about his calling, but he was not only making all of the most amazing reads every single round, but also like getting the majority of the frags every single round. And again, he's just not the dude who's hired for his aim. Quite like Kerrigan, who in this half, like in this first half, you can see the mechanics, they're not extraordinary. But he puts himself in a position where he knows the kill is coming, and if the other guy makes a mistake, he will punish it.
I mean, the way that Kerrigan was bullying Borup in that game versus Heroic on Train.
Right, of 12 players too, right?
Yeah. It's a real
robot
testament
aim himself.
For each of those individuals. I would say in both of their last series, the in-game leaders came alive on an individual performance. In the third map, that kept their teams in this competition.
Yeah.
That kept their teams in contention for that last spot at the Blast Fall Finals. Thank you guys for your patience. We're about to jump back into the server. Everybody,
oh, you want to start the game? Thank you so much. All right. Well, this is the kind of real most important round for Cloud9. They show us what they can do. They've got the op on Woxic, the most amount of utility here. Quite low on kits, but that's the only real concession. Mousesports barreling the way up A ramp really quickly, asking to be hit by grenades. Chris J will in fact receive one, and Alex, wow, he'll readjust his aim after spraying down the A ramp to take Chris J out. Hard right angle flick, 45 degrees into the side of his head. And it leaves Mousesports scratching theirs.
This could be the big opener. We took that pause, but
close.
Don't forget for a moment, it's 11 rounds in a row for Mousesports, and Rops is looking to take a 12th. Gets back what was a man advantage. Woxic, deep angle here. He could hit a shot, fade away. I find Vertigo B ramp is such a good place to actually get that op on cycle. You can hit him, reposition, and look to hit him again. But BMass waits no time. Drops Woxic head. Alex, he's going to go ahead and pop up, but only good for the first one. Floppy with the double from the site. And now Rops reactivates over towards construction, and he gets hit from Esatag and Elevator. Cloud9 put an end to the spree of Mousesports. Still 5 rounds the difference.
I just want to say one thing. Even though only Alex only gets 1 kill there, this was also something about Alex that was on Dust too. He was always at the correct site and got there when he wasn't supposed to be, in some sense, right? He's the player who plays on flex. He was just at A now, and he got over dedicated to the point that he's on the half wall on the B ramp versus the execute. Positionally, he makes moves. And there's another example of that. That extra kill could make a world of difference. Yes, Floppy gets the shine at the end, but every single one was pivotal into those last moments. Rops pulls off a pretty fantastic lurk early on into that round. Scary for Cloud9. It costs them members, but they win the round.
Alex, this could be huge, man. 2 heads lined up, basically. They're going for a little bit of a boost.
Oh, Jesus.
They're going to try to run boost over. Oh, and it works wonderfully. Alex not quite ready for that one. Mezzi still above him. Interesting way to find that opening pick. I mean, if you imagine what Woxic was holding the round previous with the scope in on it, he would not have been able to hit the shot if he was back there once more. It just so happens that it also counters Alex's position because somebody doesn't walk into what he's expecting, but rather flies across his damn screen. And now Mousesports walking up this A ramp. They're looking to find the A site open for the taking. It is Woxic in position with the first kill versus Kerrigan. And as he lays the incendiary over on short, he welcomes an additional peek. Tease smoke off the site. And he falls back a bit just in case they burst into him. 30 seconds to spare. Cloud9's other 2 players trying to rotate over, but a boost back on CT spawn. Excellent for another angle. And that's the bomb carrier, so things get delayed a bit further. And Cloud9 have an edge, but the plant comes through. BMass, he's got the top rope. And as he falls back, it's the elevator that's now in question. Cloud9 on the cusp of an exit. Chris J sees their shoulder, doesn't shoot just yet. Now that he's tapped off a couple shots, his position is compromised, but frozen through the smoke, and BMass in from short. It's 3 kills for them in total. Floppy having to clutch this. A 1v3 knocked down. And Mousesports now 13 of 20 rounds.
Yeah, their odds destroyed as soon as they got the kill on Woxic, frozen with those taps, punishing that peek. It was an empty peek into a smoke, but Woxic, maybe he was going to take a dry shot of his own. Here's a great run boost that they punish Alex for on the B ramp, and they juggle the CTs, but these 2 kills from Woxic you think were going to be enough to bring him back. 4 on 3 coming into the post-plant situation, but again, frozen with the key frags to deny them entrance. And it's too much to ask for Floppy to 1v3 in that spot. That is all of the economy stripped from Cloud9. They are now down just to pistols.
Smoke, flashbang, Kevlar, Deagle on Alex. He is the best equipped player in the 21st round for Cloud9. And that does not bode well for them. Frozen topping the scoreboard. 20 kills, 10 deaths. It's Rops that's right behind him.
See if Rops gets caught off here. He is so careful all the time. Yeah, he's going to hunt that one down. Take a think of the process, so he's not infallible. Tag will eventually punish. That forces Mousesports' feet forward. They're going to run up the A ramp now. CTs start to come over, but are they a little bit too late to get into comfortable positions?
Feels that way, but Frozen, already with an angle, hits the headshot into Floppy. Backline's going to be compromised, but Frozen's good for the 2K already. And Alex, well, he slipped in behind the tarps. Can't quite find the deagle. Chris J eventually going to die out here. 2 shots left. Oh, hello, and goodbye. Tag, AK in hand. At this point, it's just too valuable of a save to really run the risk. A 14th round for Mousesports, yet again doubling the score of Cloud9.
Can't say that Cloud9 got unlucky in any sense. Mousesports like owned them on all these different fronts that last round. You know, yes, like Frozen maybe gets a lucky spam shot through the smoke, but that's the nature of Vertigo. Plus, they had so many other things that went well for them in the round. There's just no luck involved, really, when you think about it. I feel like Frozen is top fragging right now. He's definitely playing a lot better here in the second half than he was in the first. But yeah, it's really been a multi-pronged effort by Mousesports. Kerrigan in the first bit, Rops in the middle somehow, just always being a consistent presence, and then Frozen finally to help him take it over the line versus the A-site setup. And sure, there's a significant amount of eco kills at this point that he's gotten, but those are all kills that have prevented his team from dying, that have made sure they've won rounds, so at least on some level, they're worth something. 2-op adjustment here as Mezzi's probably going to be playing B in this spot just to hold it down. A really favorable angle. Mousesports had a great flash to push Woxic off of this position earlier, so that's something they have to be aware of. I'm sure that was corresponded by Woxic. It looks like he's holding it quite tight for this reason, but look at Woxic on the A side getting shooed away. Oh my god, the long distance mow down here on Floppy.
Rops wins his duel instantly, and it's just headshots for Mousesports. The individuals looking extremely crisp. Chris J into the CT spawn. 3 headshot frags for Mousesports. Finally an answer as Mezzi's op connects to just the first, and that's all he's going to get here. The double op setup not given a chance to shine because Mousesports kills everybody between them first and foremost. A 15th round for Mousesports, absolutely completely countering this map pick. Don't you forget for a moment, it was a 5-0 start for Cloud9. We saw that logo engulfed in flames as quick as could be. And then the whole thing got iced out.
Yeah, they definitely just don't look like they're anywhere close to the tier of competition as Mousesports in the second half. And with the 9 rounds that Mousesports got in the first, they clearly showed they could adjust. And you're always going to give credit to the team who closes strong as opposed to opens strong, because they're the teams that came through with the adjustments, right? That speaks to Kerrigan as a caller. That speaks to, you know, the clutchness, the staying focused on each of their individuals. So what could be one last dish effort here for Cloud9. 7-15, not great guns. Trying to get control of the B stairs. They've been doing this over and over again. But they just let Rops sick at least one player each and every time.
Kerrigan holds the corner of the smoke. Here's that utility bouncing by him. Does he decide to activate off of it? Absolutely. 3 rapid kills coming in for Mousesports. And if you couldn't see this from a mile away, it's probably because you're blind. Mousesports absolutely going to pick up this map now. And that does not bode well for Cloud9. We're going to be shifting our feet onto Inferno after this. A map where Cloud9 started their careers versus Virtus Pro, where they were absolutely dismantled. Can Alex come in with the 1v3 to at least delay the inevitable? He makes the jump, it's style points, but style's all he's got because the dignity's ripped away. Congratulations, Mousesports, on a masterclass performance here in Map 1.
I'm shocked. I think, as was mentioned by Pimp on the desk, the veto looks good for Mousesports. They have an edge in each of the maps. Cloud9 kicking into this, it was brave. We saw what they pulled off versus NIP.